Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the WION Sports Broadband Edition with me, Digvijay Singh. My guest today is someone who's won almost everything out there in the sport of badminton, be it a World Championship medal or a Commonwealth Games medal or even an Asian Games medal. Ashwini Ponnappa, thank you so much for joining me from Bengaluru. I must say that I did tell Ashwini when I contacted her for this interview that I was extremely envious of her for managing to keep up a punishing fitness regime even during this lockdown. And I must commend you, Ashwini, for not letting go. Those they're very motivating and make me very jealous because I am just putting on the kilos.
I think it's different, Digvijay. You have a lot of content out there you can work out to at home. Whereas for me, I think it's more game related. And especially since we've been locked down for a while. Fortunately, I think in every sport you can work on a tiny aspect of your game at home. And for badminton players, it would be wall practice or it would be racket shadow. And even if you're living in a tiny apartment like I am, you can still do something at home. And I think if that's possible, it's good to make sure that you do even a little bit goes a long way. Because rather than just being like, oh my God, I'm stuck at home, I can't do anything. So apart from doing a bit of wall practice, fortunately, my husband can also play a bit. So we're driving at home and things like that. But yeah, you've got to make sure that you're in touch in whatever little way that you can be in touch with the sport. So trying to do that.
Is it frustrating? Because for you, it's actually been a long while because you went to play the All England as well. So you all had to come back, serve a period of self isolation, and that's when the lockdown kicked in.
Um, to be honest, I think when we left for Birmingham for the All England, at that point of time, we weren't too sure what the situation was. A few of our teammates had dropped out because of COVID-19. But having reached Birmingham, it was like a lot of players were there. A lot of the top players were there. So it's quite funny because you go there and you're like, whoa, everyone's here. So is this actually a big deal? But then towards the end of the week, I mean, we started realizing that the other countries were under lockdown and we had a chat with Gopi sir who wanted us to get back. We still had another tournament, which was the Swiss Open, but then we weren't too sure because if the tournament was going to be held, then we weren't too sure if we wanted to take that chance to not play if everyone else is playing. But then I think after we saw like a couple of the European countries getting into lockdown, we decided that okay, we're going to leave. And the decision was made like in the morning, and within an hour's time, we were like, okay, we need to get back. Fortunately, our association helped us. Everyone, tops helped us. So a lot of people helped us to get back, and I think we made it back in the nick of time because as soon as we got back in a day or two, things got like crazy. So we were lucky to have gotten back, I would say.
No, but in hindsight, was it the correct decision? I know that you were chasing ranking points for the Olympics, and at that point of time, the Olympics were still on. But in hindsight, do you really feel that I shouldn't have gone there?
Had I known that things would have gotten so bad, then it would have been like, I think we shouldn't have done that. But then no one really knew what the situation was, right? And no one could predict how bad it was going to get. So I would say at that point of time, the decision that we took was the right one because, as I said, everyone were there. All the top players were there playing. It's not like anyone backed out because of this because, again, no one knew the seriousness of COVID-19. And again, if your association still held, the world body still held tournaments, then it's hard to like not play. So I'm glad that even BWF took a call by, I think we got back on Saturday, and by Sunday they had decided that they were going to cancel all the other tournaments, which was a great decision. So I'm glad that that happened.
Okay, I'll get to all of that because during the lockdown, especially place like mine, no newspapers, you sort of dependent on social media to get through with the news and online newspapers and all of that. And your Twitter feed makes for great reading. It's makes me envious at some times, but yes, it's also a lot of fun. How many dogs do you have with you? It's lovely to see those photos.
We like the dogs that we have, Jazz and Lola, my in-laws' dogs. So the minute Carl, my husband, found out that I was getting back, he decided to get the dogs along. And I'm so thankful that he brought the dogs home because they've been like a breath of fresh air at home because they are absolutely fantastic. They make everything better and they're lively. And then, I mean, it's just a lot of fun having them. It's nice because they just have this positivity about them throughout. and they just come and shower tons of love on you. So you don't feel like, oh my God, you're stuck at home. It's quite nice. Just being showered with a lot of love and being locked with these two dogs is fun.
How come they aren't jumping on you at the moment?
One of Jazz just came here, but I think she knows I'm busy on a call, so it's time
Okay.
to behave.
Yeah, because I've seen you've been posting photos of stretching and one of them holding one of the badminton
Yeah.
shuttles. There are other people I think also in World Badminton who are posting photos of actually having fun with their pets, and it's sort of nice to see the other side of all of you guys.
Yeah, because we normally wouldn't get to do this because we're traveling so much. I most certainly don't get to do this often because I haven't been in Bangalore. And in Hyderabad, my life revolves around going to the court, coming back, resting. And when we are busy with our busy schedules, for us at least, we don't have time to have a dog. So here it's kind of like we're living this fantasy life where we have two dogs at home. We get to spend time with them and take them out here around the compound. So it's kind of nice because otherwise, if it was a regular day for us without the lockdown, I don't think we could have kept them with us because both of us would have been really busy. So it's kind of nice having them home.
Yes, I can see the headlines. Ashwini Ponnappa finally has a life. No, but on a
Ah,
serious note, you've raised your voice against the treatment of animals in the past as well, Ashwini, and the roles are reversed at the moment. The animals, there's lovely videos coming of animals roaming around cities. If it's somewhere next to the forest, they're roaming around. Vishy Anand told me that he absolutely had a ball seeing a zebra trotting around Paris. Roles have been reversed thanks to this lockdown. We're inside, they're out, enjoying themselves.
I know it's so strange, but I feel like nature and things have a way of happening and everything happens for a reason. I mean, the fact that all of us are locked inside and then the animals get to come out, it must be like years for them to be like, oh my God, feed him. We can just walk around as and how we please. But then I think, as I said, everything happens for a reason. And I think it's important to like try and be positive around this time because it's hard. It's pretty hard. It's nice to see all these nice content. It's nice to see that there are animals out there. It's great, but then when you're locked inside, it's not that great. So it's quite an eye opener.
Yeah, just step back a bit. You again coming in. Yeah, yeah. No, but I remember one of your PETA ads, and then I think it was about being in isolation, being about an elephants and other circus animals being chained and locked up inside. That's sort of where we are at the moment, locked up inside.
I know it's funny, right? It's quite ironic how things have changed, and it's weird because it's not just our country, it's not just one state, it's not just one district, but it's more or less a lot of countries. It's a worldwide thing. So it's funny because I feel like hopefully after all this, people would be more understanding. I mean, we don't know. I have a feeling that things would change. A lot of outlook that people would have might change, but you never know. I mean, just got to wait and see.
Yes, because again, Vishy Anand said a nice thing to me. He said, I hope the world learns restraint because we were too fast and the virus sort of took advantage of us having this extremely fast lifestyle, global shuttling here and there. But for you, what has been the biggest learning in these last 30 days or so of this lockdown? Yes, you have your dogs and your husband staying with you, but back in the day, it's not like you don't know how to live in isolation because I remember when you were in Hyderabad, you had this very small flat, and it was all the life was getting up in the morning, driving to practice, coming back late at night, and that was just you and that small flat. But what has been the learnings for you?
I feel like I'm kind of welcoming the pause because it's been a lot of traveling in the last couple of years. Extremely grateful for all the traveling, extremely grateful for all the opportunities I've had, and extremely grateful for all the moments that I've got to represent the country. But sometimes you do kind of stall and you just do want to take a pause. And I think this forced pause has been a welcome break in a way, though of course all of us were looking towards the Olympics, and all of us were looking forward to getting done with Olympic qualifying. That is a bummer, not knowing what's going to happen. But I think that right now, given this current situation, I'm not the only one in this situation. It's like a lot of people. So it's nice to just sit back, relax, and there isn't anything that's pushing you. And at the end of the day, it's about you wanting to do what you want to do. And I kind of like that. I kind of like the fact that it's up to me right now. If I want to work out, I will work out. And it's the motivation that I need to have to do something. And that's important because somewhere down the line, you kind of get into this whole circle of just doing things without really being there present mentally. And then it becomes like a cycle. Get up in the morning, go for training, finish training, come back, sleep, again get up, go for training, come back. And you kind of keep doing it over and over again that you stop like understanding what you're doing. So in this point in time, it's like it's nice to take a pause, to take a break, to understand what I love about the game, to start watching the game, playing and doing even wall practice for me, and it's not for anyone else. And I think that's important because as you get more serious into the game, sometimes you kind of forget why you're playing. And that's one of the things that I like about this break because whatever I do is for me right now because I'm stuck in the house. I have the freedom to do what I want to do. And I like that. I like the fact that I'm working out for me. I like the pleasant change of being in charge of my routine and my situation.
Hey, you spoke about wall practice. I actually was pretty amazed to see you keep going on and on. Roger Federer, in fact, asked all tennis fans to do the similar kind of thing with a tennis racket and a tennis ball, but you were doing it with a very small ball, lots of skill involved. But the highlight was, I think it was your husband sitting at the back, completely
Yeah.
uninterested. I think he was watching TV, so he's sort of given up. He knows that when this is Ashwini time and this is about sharpening your skills, I'm not intervening.
Yeah, I think he was doing some work on his laptop at that point in time. And so when I'm doing my stuff, he's doing his stuff. And I think both of us are making best use of this time. For me, it would be more relaxing, trying to understand my body. I think a lot. I'm naturally a thinker. So it's like kind of like unwind, slow down a bit, do things with a purpose. And at that point in time, he was busy researching, reading up on things, and that's what he likes doing. And he reads a lot, so he was busy with his stuff. So I had the freedom to be busy doing the wall practice.
How essential is it to keep those skills up? A lot of people wrote to you saying, "How did you manage to do it?" Because at some point of time, this is going to end, and we're going to get back to sport. We don't know when, but then your skills need to be sharp enough because your sport is a game of extreme skill.
I feel like this is just like a tiny aspect of the bigger game. I mean, because we don't just play underarm strokes, right? Badminton also involves a lot of overarm strokes. But being in touch even a little bit is better than not being in touch at all. And this definitely for a doubles player is extremely important because it improves your defense skill. And the nice thing about using the tiny little hex ball is that I can also work on different strokes because in the space that I live in right now, playing with a shuttle is quite hard, apart from the fact that there's not a lot of space. I also have two dogs who love the shuttle, so it's quite a challenge. But with the hex ball, I can do softer shots, I can do harder shots, I can do overhead shots. So it has been nice. And I'd actually got this quite some time back because I wanted to work at home. And I like the fact that you can do it at a slower pace. With a shuttle, you can't play as slowly. It comes back faster. And I think doing things slowly and gradually working on things is important because that's how you get better. So yeah.
But you're primarily a doubles player, so
Yeah.
there's one partner at home, but there's another on-court partner who's in a different city. So are you and Siki really staying in touch? Essential. In the past, have you guys like sort of bonded together because you need to build that understanding on court as well? So is it just Ashwini and Siki on the court, or do you guys actually spend a lot of time together, hanging out together, just to know each other, just to have each other's back?
We stay together when we travel. So, I mean, before Siki got married, of course, we stayed together. So we do bond together and we do go out for meals together when we're on tour. But once we're back home, we do spend a lot of time with our families. So it's a lot more family centric because we are traveling so much throughout the year. So it's more when we're traveling, of course, we go for meals together and we make sure that we're in touch.
But right now, what's happening? How are both of you staying in touch with each other? Is
Social
there
media posts.
Skype calls or what?
Social media posts because I mean you'd see something that Siki does, which is quite amazing. Siki and Sumit have been putting up some fun videos, so it's basically talking about that or shows that we're watching and things like that.
What are you watching?
You'll actually be shocked if I tell you what I'm watching. I'm watching a Korean show. I'm kind of like I've become a Korean show fan, like Korean drama. And then Siki is also a Korean drama fan. So yeah, we have some we like
Interesting.
watching Korean dramas.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Uh, but just getting back to your partnership, 2019 wasn't the greatest of years as a team for both of you. How difficult is it to have to keep maintaining that belief in a partnership when you've had a year which hasn't gone according to plan?
It's tough, but the thing that's kept us going is the fact that though we've lost in quite a few first round matches, those matches were against pairs that were in the top 5, top 10, and we played good close matches. I mean, that's only motivated us to like go back and try harder and fight again. It has been disappointing that we've stretched a lot of the pairs, gotten really close to winning, and haven't been able to like finish it towards the end. But also last year, I was also struggling with a knee injury. So I had patella tendinitis. So it was a struggle, but I think being motivated, the fact that we could play at a particular level was what kept us going. It's hard. It's extremely hard because you're working and you want to do well and you're trying to like focus and put a lot of energy into that. It does get to you, and sometimes when you do have a good round, you end up not performing, and that's the hardest part. But I think just she's been quite motivating and supportive, and both of us have been supportive of each other, so we've been able to manage. Just a minute, Digvijay. No, could you just shut the door? Sorry about that.
Oh, your husband?
Yeah, my husband's on the phone.
Ah, it's okay. You're also on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But especially someone like you who's won the big medals, I can understand it gets frustrating. Is that why? Is that why I have been seeing on your Twitter feed a picture of notes being taken with a half a screen visible of a badminton match? Is that what's going on? A post-mortem of what's sort of gone missing in the last 6, 7 months, 1 year?
Absolutely. Because I feel like, I mean, you're working really hard, you're training a lot. I mean, there's no lack of hard work or training that's being put in. So there is something that's missing that we aren't doing, right? And I think it's important that as players, we sit and figure things out because we don't really have anyone analyzing our matches. So I figured that I would make use of the time that I have right now and watch my matches and try and see if I can find some patterns. And I'm just still starting with it. I'm trying to figure out like a nice way in which I can make it easier for me to understand. It's tough because it's like once you get to it, there are a lot of things, a lot of aspects, and if you get into a lot of aspects of the game, then it's like a lot of work. So I'm just trying to like make it easier. Like I would do one match, and then if something didn't work, the next match would probably be a different way in which I would approach the match. But I'm trying to get like a system in which I could make it easier for me to analyze my matches, and then my opponent's matches. So
Okay. As you said some time back, you're a thinker. So you'll be able to think your way past this kind of puzzle. But talking about the Olympics, you were at London 2012, you were at Rio 2016 as well. Uh, this time, it looked like a bridge too far, especially with the cancellations hitting the qualification period. Do you think that the Olympics getting pushed back by a year is actually going to work out in your favor?
I'm not too sure because I mean, I think at the time in which the tournament stopped, we still had a couple of tournaments. We still had a month and a half until the end of the Olympic qualifying period. And again, no one really knows when things are going to resume and things are going to get back on track. But since the Olympics has been postponed, I think it would be fair if we were given that month and a half or the number of tournaments that were left. So that would still give us a chance. But then again, you don't know what's going to happen because you have a whole lot of other tournaments and no one knows how things are going to be. So I think the waiting game is what is tough to figure out what's going to happen. And yeah, just no one really knows.
No, but let's look at the concept of being fair because that's what the International Olympic Committee said. No, I'll come to the leadership of the BWF just after this. But the IOC clearly said that you have to be fair to each and every athlete. Now you had one year run at the Olympic qualification, and which was stopped around starting March. These tournaments started getting cancelled, as you said. 44, 45 weeks were already done. Do you think it's fair to start afresh, or to start from a period where it's the first cancellations happen, perhaps the first week of March, where and give yourself 8 to 10 tournaments. You think there are two options: either you start afresh, or you pause at that point of time and add these 8, 10 tournaments again next year at exactly the same time.
I would choose the latter because I think the latter is fair because all of us have been working hard. Everyone has been working towards qualifying for the Olympics. So there's a lot of work, a lot of thought process that's gone into that one close to a year of qualifying period. I think it would be pretty unfair if you ask everyone to resume for like a fresh year of qualifying. Though for a few of us, it might be an advantage because it gives you a fresh chance, but I don't think it's too fair. Too fair. I think what would be fair is to like give us the tournaments that were cancelled due to the COVID-19 that were in the qualifying period. If those tournaments are given to us as an opportunity to like compete for the Olympics and still perform and try and get a chance to go and compete there, it would be fair. But again, no one. I don't know. I hope it's the second thing where they continue and give us a chance from the tournaments that were cancelled, give us those tournaments. I think that is only fair because I mean, whatever is done is done. And at that point of time, from the start till then, things were normal. Everyone had trained. All of us had ample time to like work for the Olympics. So it's just the last couple of tournaments which would have decided the final list of players. I think that's important to have.
And I was just looking at these Olympic rankings. You weren't that far off. I mean, the difference between 16 pairs get in women's doubles, but the difference wasn't that much. I mean, what, 4, 5,000, 6,000 points
Yeah.
separating you and them. So that's what, one or two quarterfinals, maybe a deeper run somewhere else. So you
Yeah.
think UNCK can achieve that if we start again, say 1st March 2021 down to April 30th, 2021, those 8, 9 tournaments, you think that's good enough for both of you?
Yes. I think, I mean, it's fair, right? It would be only fair. And also, I feel like I was quite confident that we could somehow pull it off towards the end. I think the last two Olympics, it has been narrow entries right towards the end. And you never know up until the end what's going to happen because a pair might have a chance and might have a strong standing to qualify. But then towards the end, in case they haven't performed, they could go out, and pairs who perform towards the end can go in. So you never really know up until the end, up until the finish line, who's going to make it. And I think being optimistic and fighting until then is really important, and not being like, oh, we're not here yet, so I think it's better we give up. I don't think so. I would rather fight till the end because there's always a chance to qualify. Of course, the ideal situation would have been that we started off well so that we were in a better position to be like, okay, yeah, we're sure of a shot going in. But then since it hasn't been that way, I still feel like we have a chance because quite a few of us are close by in terms of ranking, and anything can happen towards the end. So, yeah.
Okay. Getting me now to the BWF. In times of crisis, you look to the leadership in a certain sport to help the players navigate through a crisis. Do you think that the BWF did the best possible job? Because as an outsider, it sort of looked to me that they kept waiting on a decision, waiting for the IOC to make a decision, and they didn't exactly do what is best for the players.
I think they were a little late with their decision that they took. They could have definitely stood up a little earlier. I mean, a lot of us voiced our opinion, and there's one player who wrote things down perfectly well, in which it was surprising that most players felt the same way. That all of us were playing because the tournaments were being conducted, though we were scared. Back of my mind is scared about the situation that's happening because everyone's reading the news. But then if your world body still have the tournament, then you kind of end up playing. But then I'm glad that BWF kind of heard everyone out and took a call. So it was never too late. I mean, I think they did it right in the nick of time when things got really bad. So for that, I'm glad that they at least listened to us and they took a stand. They might not have taken a stand as soon as the other world bodies, but the fact that they did even then is better than not having taken a decision at all, you know?
Okay. Have you been in touch with the rest of your badminton circuit around the world? Obviously, in India, you must be having your some kind of interaction with the rest. But what about the rest of the world badminton circuit? Are you in touch with anyone? Sort of comparing notes. I saw some videos of Carolina Marin training away on her terrace. So these kind of things sort of keep you guys in touch, keep giving each other hope?
I think thanks to social media, you don't need to literally be in touch with anyone because whatever we post is for everyone to see. So in that sense, a lot of the posts that a lot of players have been putting are motivating and encouraging because it gives you an idea as to what they're doing at home and different ways in which you can stay fit, stay active. So I think we've all been kind of helping each other out in that sense with funny content being put out there to exercise content being put out there. So yeah, not literally being in touch, but being in touch via social media.
Okay, social media. I think when 4 5 years from now, when this when we remember this period of immense concern and strife for all of us, we will be thankful, in a sense, for social media and also for great internet speeds, because not just can we watch Korean TV content, or we can even have this interview happening. I'm working from home. You're at home as well. We don't need a television crew at your house. We just need a good 4G slash Wi-Fi connection at home. So I think that's one of the learnings. Technology has helped us bridge this battle, this crisis, so to say. But Ashwini, thank you so much for joining me, and enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment with your dogs. Enjoy the moment at home, as you said, and thankfully not having to constantly pack and unpack every week.
Yeah, I think it's a pleasant change. So I'm going to make the most of it. But that's also making me wish to get back on court, get back onto the grind. So it's kind of nice because sometimes after this, you kind of you yearn for something that you've been doing, right? So I'm going to make the best use of this time and I'm looking forward to getting back. Hopefully things get back well, get back better soon. And yeah, let's see.